Mic check. Peas and carrots, peas and carrots. Prestidigitation. Hi, I'm Ashley Daigle, and this is Advice from the Cheerbrarian. Never heard of that word before? That's because I smushed two words together because I felt like it. This week, we're going to do what we always do. Mix a dollop of advice to improve your life, born from a few of my successes and a boatload of my mistakes, with the book recommendation of the week, unearthed by my voracious love of reading, from self-help to historical fiction and everything in between. As always, follow wherever you pod, and join the Cheerbrary on Instagram or Facebook by following me at the @Cheerbrarian handle. And now, let's do this thing. Last week, I launched the I Do Mean to Brag segment because, as we talked about in the episode, it can be difficult to brag on yourself, and there are a lot of benefits for being proud of your achievements. So I'm here to do it for you. So, whoop, 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 whoop. That is again my air horn sound, and if you are tired of it already, I've got some bad news. I'm going to keep doing it. Our first brag this week is a reader brag, and it goes out to Zoe. She had already read the two books I recommended in last week's episode, which were Princess Bride and Practical Magic. So, A+ in reading for you, ma'am. Way to go, you little reader. Great job curling up with some very good books. You obviously have excellent taste. Our second brag is the Baby Got Back brag, and it goes out to Abby. Now, Abby has had a time of it. She has been dealing with chronic back pain for the last 10 months, y'all, and she's about to have surgery. But guess what? She has decided she is going to stop pausing her dreams. Here's a direct quote. She said, "I got to make things happen, and my back can come along if she wants." Love that attitude. So, what is she doing? Well, she booked the Edge Theater in Edgewater, which is in the Chicago area, for the last weekend of June. And she and her writing partner are putting on a sketch show, and she says it's going to be amazing. And guess what? I know it's going to be amazing. And it is very difficult to invest in yourself in the best possible circumstances. It's even more challenging to do it when life and your back is trying to hold you back too soon. I don't know. So, 1,000 snaps to you for soldiering on through this just situation. So again, Zoe, Abby, woohoo, 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 yeah. I'm clearly having a lot of fun with this because it is a bright spot in my day to give love, cheer, and pep to other people. And I would be absolutely delighted to give you, yes, you, specifically you, a shout out. So think about something you are proud of, whether it's a big goal or a small thing that you're doing, and let me know. Nothing is too small to get some love. Or here's an idea. You can tell me about someone else you want to shout out, someone you are proud of that you think needs a little motivation, because bonus, a podcast shout out is a great gift because it is free. It costs you nothing. It does not make a good stocking stuffer, but you know what? It's March. Who cares? Reach out to me if you want a brag moment. You can DM me on Instagram or Facebook, or you can email me at cheerbrarian@gmail.com. And now, the rest of our show. This week, we are going to examine the pull of smartphones. And it's really like a black hole, like gravity well of smartphones. Also, is that the right use of those terms? I don't know. The point is, we are going to identify some things you can do to fight back against your tiny pocket casino. If casino is giving you a confused record scratch moment, allow me to explain. Really, it's more like a tiny pocket slot machine, but tiny pocket slot machine just doesn't roll off the tongue. So we're going to go with casino. So, how is your phone like a slot machine? Well, firstly, your phone has been intentionally engineered by very smart people to seize your attention. It is chock full of pretty colors and things whizzing and vibrating and pinging and binging. Sure, Bing, search engine. But it's trying to keep your brain engaged. It is not an accident that you find it difficult to put your smartphone down. Now, it does not spit out coins, which would be pretty cool, though maybe dangerous, but it does reward you because it spits out more inputs, more likes, more things for you to do and see, more, more. Or in Spanish, más. Unfortunately, though, you cannot get a cheap all-you-can-eat buffet or free drinks from your phone directly, which is kind of rude. If this is a new concept for you, the like casino design situation, and you're interested in it, I'm going to be dropping an article in my show notes from Psychology Today that goes into it more, titled How Principles from the Casino Were Applied to Your Cell Phone. Real talk. Listen, I don't know about you, but just about every day for me feels like I'm just a girl standing in front of my phone, wondering how it got back into my hand. It is a sneaky little bugger. It's like I'm trying to do something else, and all of a sudden, boop, there's my phone. The other day, I realized I have been watching reels on Facebook. I didn't even realize that. I thought I'd been watching reels on Instagram the other time. It is so smart. I don't even know what app I'm using. That is not good. It's really not. And it's actually pretty hilarious because I was a late adopter of the smartphone. I was someone who said I didn't need it. I didn't want all of that on my phone. And if I'm totally honest, I was definitely a little bit smug about it. So to past Ashley, I say, A, not cool, lady. And B, where did we go wrong? Because now when I can't find my phone, I immediately feel the blood pressure raise. Like when you go to get it and it's not exactly where you thought it was, you're like, did I lose it? Oh my gosh, where could it be? And then when I find it, it's like this sense of relief. But admitting you have a problem is, the first step on working on it. So if, like me, you have said to yourself, I really need to use my phone less, let's go ahead and identify. Just go ahead and raise your hand, unless you're driving, or maybe at a coffee shop, or in a grocery store, or I guess anywhere, because you don't want to just be randomly raising your hand. Listen, okay, instead, let's think about this. No hand raise. Just raise a finger. That's fine. It'll just look like you're stretching your pointer finger. So raise your finger. It's great. And then take that finger and give yourself a little pit pat on the back. Because guess what? You are doing your best against an uphill climb. I know I want to use my phone less. You, if you raised your finger or didn't, also may say, you know what, I want to use my phone less. But still, we're picking up the phones. So what can we do to fight back? This episode title promised battle tips, dang it, and we are going to get there right now. What I have figured out is what is key about changing your phone usage is that you first have to figure out what need your phone is fulfilling in any given moment, and then choose a different action that can still fill that need. What we're going to work to do is make sure that you can identify and scratch the right itch. So these are the itches that I have that my phone can satisfy. So number one, if I'm itching for some socialization, well, I can text a friend. If I really need interaction, that's going to be a way to get that, right? Another thing that makes me itch, this is a great analogy, we're going to keep going with it, is if you're feeling isolated, right? Then an option that you can do that would be better, maybe, would be go to the store, like any store, pop into Walgreens, something that's nearby, have a casual conversation with a stranger, just maybe smile at them in passing, just go somewhere to remind yourself you are not alone in this world. Third thing that I have identified as a need of mine that the phone tries to fix is distraction. I go to the phone because I'm looking to be distracted from something that is happening. So instead of the phone, what can I do? Well, I can stand up and I can look out of a window. I can walk around my house. I can continue that walk to the outside. That will pull me out of whatever is in my mind that is bogging me down that I'm trying to hide from in the phone. And then the last thing is entertainment. If I'm looking to be entertained, well, what could I do other than pick up the phone? I don't know. What's a hobby that I really like that's entertaining? Oh, read a book, silly. Yes. Or I could have a podcast queued up, meta referential, that you can hop to in between moments instead of grabbing for the phone. But again, the important thing is you have to identify the need and do an activity that's going to fill it. the important thing is to identify what the sort of root cause is. Because in the past, I know for me, I would be scrolling social media and then it was really because I was looking for socialization. But I would say, oh, I should put the phone down. This is bad. I need to not do this. I'm going to go for a walk. And going for a walk is great, but it's not going to fill that socialization need. So after the walk, I would probably come back in and get on the phone. So you have to address the right sort of core issue. I'm not going to get into, lists of things that you can do to help be on your phone less because you could find that on the internet in about 5 seconds. Like, what are the things you could be doing to use the phone less? It's just a matter of getting them into your routines, right? So, two things that I've done, these are the only two I'll talk about to help with night scrolling. Number one is I have changed where my phone goes at night. So, my phone gets plugged in, not in the bedroom, in another room, and I don't use it as the alarm clock, so it's not the first thing I touch in the morning. I use my Garmin instead, and I have found that it has changed the relationship with the phone. And then the second thing is I try to give my phone a bedtime. So like when my kid goes to bed, I also will try to go plug the phone in. Am I perfect at both of these things? Absolutely not. But they are aims. And the last thing I'll say in this advice portion is just to give yourself a friggin' break. You are doing your best. I know that you are. You are trying. And guess what? Trying is doing your best because perfection is not possible. And also, not all phone usage is bad. They are great devices for staying connected and making sure you're driving to the right location and seeing so many pictures of dogs, right? They're helpful. Phones can be okay sometimes. We are now moving into unrequired reading. And today's book is called, it's going to be real on the nose with the topic, Breaking Up with Your Phone, the 30-Day Plan to Take Back Your Life by Catherine Price. This book is not that long. It's sitting next to me. Hold on. I'm going to look and see. This book is real into the microphone right now. Wow, very close. Should not take this long to do pages. Am I going to cut this part out? I don't know. 165 pages. So it is not a long book at all. This book is broken up into two parts. So, in the first half of the book, called The Wake Up, Price is at her absolute journalistic best. So, she is establishing both the why, money, and the how, deliberate design, that smart devices and their accompanying apps have such a strong hold over our time and attention. And so I now understand, I talked about this a little bit in the first half, but I understand it is not a simple matter of willpower because it's not just my will, right? It's my will battling against the wills of all the teams and all the engineers who have worked to instigate me to keep using the phone. And her research explains what these devices are doing to our brains and our ability to focus. It's not great, guys, ladies, gents, peeps. It's not good. It's not good at all. But what was interesting as I was reading it was that it was actually a surprisingly freeing experience. So there wasn't anything in the first half that was brand new information. It was just understanding the underpinnings of it. Because my biggest takeaway was I'm not special because I can't put down my phone. It's like, welcome to the club. You can't put down your phone. Come into can't put down your phone club. It's very lame. Everyone has eye strain and bad posture. 2 stars. Would not return to this club. But the point is, if I'm not special, if there's nothing special about me, about not being able to use the phone, well, then I can learn how to be different. There's nothing stopping me from learning to be different. The second half of this book is the real stack of pancakes. It is the breakup, and it is a 30-day plan to help you understand, investigate, and redo, there it is, redo your relationship with your phone. The prompts are helpful and the exercises are doable. Obviously, the work is easier said than done, like any change, right? So the breakup is segmented into 4 weeks. So week 1 is she has you do a technology triage. Week 2 is changing your habits. Week 3 is reclaiming your brain. And week 4 and beyond is kind of defining your new relationship. I completed all 4 weeks. I remember I went back and did like 1 week twice because I felt the pacing of it felt a little rushed to me. But the overall, work that you do, as it were, was not very challenging. Didn't take too much time. So now, after completing this 30-day plan when I read this book in March of 2022, am I a brand new person? Am I talking to you from the promised land where I found phone balance and phone inner peace? In a word, no. I am just a person that read a book and feels proud of that. And I'm facing the same troubles 2 years later. But what has really shifted for me is the level of shame and guilt that I associate with using my phone. What I try to remember, and is easier on the good days when my brain is being cooperative, of course, is that my goal with the phone is to be more mindful and intentional about using it. And I'm not trying to do away with using it entirely. For me, that's just not practical, and that is not how I want to live. It was interesting revisiting the book review I wrote as I was prepping for this episode because I had all this stuff I was trying and I'm not really doing any of those things anymore. But you know what? Personal development is a winding road. So I am glad I had reason to revisit this book so I can, think about it again and figure out what's going to work for me now. So thank you, listener, because you have inspired me. That is it. Today's episode is wrapping up. And I will give you a little recap because life is busy and I want you to have at least one or maybe two or maybe a 5-pack of nuggets of wisdom to take with you. So, what in the heck did we do today? Well, the unsolicited advice of this episode was to learn about the pull of your tiny pocket casino and how you need to dig into your motivations and see what itch your phone is scratching and choose another activity to invest in yourself. In unrequired reading, I recommended Breaking Up with Your Phone, the 30-day plan to take back your life by Catherine Price. It helped me introduce more mindfulness and less shame in my phone usage, and I think it could do the same for you. And I do mean to brag, we gave major props to Zoe, woo woo, and Abby, woo woo. If you like what you heard, please, pretty please, tell 2 other human beings you know about this podcast. And if you're wondering, gosh, I wish there was a convenient place to see the links to these books and whatnot, well, look no further than my show notes. I will also post those things on my Facebook and Instagram pages. Now go on, get out of here, put your phone down, drink more water. Okay, bye! Remember to follow Advice from the Cheerbrarian in all of your favorite podcast places or visit our website at cheerbrarian.com.